And at the request, we have decided to offer the FCC as a platform so that they can reach out to the people of India and people everywhere uh, what is going on in Bangladesh at this moment, particularly the way the minorities are being treated. So, may I now invite Mr. Guha to introduce himself and his colleagues and then make statement. Mr. Guha, please switch on the button.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, member of the press, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shitangshu Guha. I am from United States of America. My right is Mr. Sushanta Dasgupta. He's from London, UK. In my left side is Pushpita Gupta. She's from London, a politician of Labour Party. Next is Mr. Arun Dotto. He's from Toronto, Canada. Then Mr. Arun Barua, he's from Geneva. Here we are 17 people in our team. Although everybody is not here at this time, they are coming. Let me introduce them even. Mr. Sushanta, no, sorry.
Suresh.
No. We are 17. There are Suhash Borua sitting in the back, Mr. Rupan Guha, Ira Dotto, Mr. Dilip Karmakar from Montreal, Alpana Guha, and others. Distinguished members of the Foreign Correspondents Club of South Asia, happy advanced New Year to everyone. Thank you very much for providing us the opportunity to address and share the dire circumstances faced by the Hindus, other religious minorities, indigenous people, and tribal groups since 5th August 2024 under the hostile and pro-jihadist illegal government in Bangladesh. We represent the collective voice of concerned expatriates, community leaders, human rights defenders, and advocates for justice, calling for urgent attention to this humanitarian crisis. Today, on behalf of the Bangladeshi expatriate Hindus and other religious minorities living in the United States, Canada, Europe, and around the world, we have turned to you for assistance so that our relatives and friends who remain in Bangladesh can survive in their ancestral homeland with safety, security, and dignity of their women and life. I am quite sure that you have a very good knowledge of Bangladesh's current situation. We have provided you the print copies of our submission to you all. We'll also love to email the content if you kindly share your email address with us. So I am not reading out all those in the submission. I am now directly going to tell you what we want to raise up with you for your kind cooperation so that our voices will be heard. Call to action. We demand immediate, decisive steps from global and Indian leadership to protect endangered Hindus, other religious minorities, indigenous people, and tribal groups under the hostile and pro-jihadist illegal government in Bangladesh. Our core appeals are, number one, global intervention. Deploy United Nations peacekeeping forces to protect Hindus, other religious minorities, indigenous people, and tribal groups in Bangladesh. Number two, autonomous zones. Establish protected autonomous zones in Hindu majority regions to ensure safety and security for minorities. Number 3, population exchange. Complete the unfinished population exchange with lands from 1947 partition, enabling the secure resettlement of the displaced minorities. Reassessing peacekeeping contribution. India has generously supported UN peacekeeping quotas for Bangladesh. However, given the current hostile and pro-jihadist regime in Dhaka, we urge the Indian government to reconsider its strategy and align its contribution with democratic and humanitarian values. Number 5, request for the UN sanction based on compliance with UN standards of conduct. Peace mission armed forces providing nations must ensure that their personnel adhere to the UN zero tolerance policy on misconduct. We urge the government of India to call upon the United Nations and its members to impose targeted sanction on the current illegal and hostile regime in Bangladesh due to its proven misconduct and failure to preserve human rights, dignity of the religious minorities, indigenous people, and tribal groups. In the end, the survival of the Hindus, other religious minorities, indigenous people, and tribal groups in hostile and pro-jihadist illegal government in Bangladesh is not merely a question of preserving heritage. It's a struggle for justice, dignity, and fundamental human rights and existence. We stand here today with hope, urging the global community to act decisively and prevent the erasing of an entire community. We thank the Foreign Correspondents Club of South Asia for amplifying our voices. Let this platform be the beginning of a global effort to restore security and dignity for Hindus and other religious minorities in Bangladesh. Okay, we have enclosed several documents. Let me just tell you. We have enclosed the latest reports of attacks on minority Hindu temples, orphanages in Bangladesh during the period of August 5 to December 21st, 2024, prepared by the Bangladeshi United Sanatani Awakening Alliance. We also included 5 reports of armed forces misconducts. We included 3 recent reports of incidents on Hindus, just recent from 25th December to today. We enclosed 4 reports of the release of prisoners associated with the militant Islamist activities in Bangladesh. Okay, this is our brief statement, our complete statement you have in your hand. If you please give your email, we can send it to you. Now, I am inviting questions from the press.
Yeah. Whoever has a question to ask, kindly raise your hand. Once you are identified, wait for a microphone to come to you. Identify yourself and ask the question. Thank you. Yes. वहाँ खड़े हैं.
Hi, this is Taposh Bhattacharya from Doordarshan. Just wanted to know if you believe that the state machinery is in cohorts with the other political parties to subjugate the freedom of press there.
Okay, there is no such thing, freedom of press in Bangladesh. It is totally controlled by the government.
Yeah. Hold on. Here.
Sir, I want to know that what is the percentage of Hindu population in Bangladesh now and what it was in 1947?
Okay, my colleague Pushpita Gupta will answer this.
Sir, I just wanted to include, I also wanted to know in the liberation movement, Bangladesh liberation movement, at that time also it was a population of Hindus. So 47, 70s, and now. If you can.
Same question.
Okay, in 1947, the percentage of Hindus in Pakistan was 29.7%. In 1970, just prior to the independence, it was 19.7%, and today it is 7.95%, according to government statistics.
I would also like to ask you, what do you think, what are you observing that what Indian government can do? If I have to ask you, let's say three things that you want the Indian government to intervene for.
We we actually grateful to India because India helped all the possible ways in 1971, and we lost a few thousand soldiers. And actually, we salute those soldiers who fought for my country. Why we are in Delhi? Because we know India is our best friend, and India can help us. India can rescue the uh, 20 million Hindus and other religious minorities in Bangladesh. What India will do depends on India. We just called upon, we just give you some points that there we already called that India can do these things. We urge the Indian government, please help this Hindu community from being extinction. Thank you.
Yes, please.
So this is Soumya from Republic TV. I just wanted to ask, do you think Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri's recent visit to Bangladesh has changed situation for Hindus or for that matter other minorities there in Bangladesh?
Thank you. We think what Vikram ji did is good, but we don't think nothing. We think nothing has changed with that.
I'm Sandeep Jindal. I'm advocate by profession at Supreme Court of India. My query is regarding the rehabilitation of the persons, because in these kind of situations, the most vulnerable segments are the women and children. Whether any international diplomacy or any kind of measurement has been taken up so far with respect to the protection of the women and the children, because sometimes we see that these are the vulnerable groups, and after that, say like trafficking and say like situations are increasing day by day in such situations.
Okay, my colleague Pushpita Gupta.
First of all, yeah, sorry, I'm not here from. I'm not representing British politics or Labour Party or India. I'm came here to represent Hindus in Bangladesh. Now, no protection for women and girls or children in Bangladesh. Recently, a 15-year-old boy was killed so brutally in front of the army and in front of the police station, and the jihadists announced the boy has been. He announced and loudly and celebrated that he has been killed, although he was still alive. Luckily, he's alive. But that way they were tortured him, and as the celebration was live on Facebook.
I'm Pradeep Datta from Times Now TV channel. So here, you said that UN sanctions need to be imposed on Bangladesh the way they are just violating the human rights of particular community. You think that this is the right time the Nobel Peace Prize should also be taken away from this man, Mohammed Yunus, that was conferred to him in 2006? And the second question is that we have seen that every time, whenever we had been coming out with the stories, how the Hindus are being targeted, every time the Bangladeshi government remains in a denial mode, they say that they try to weave in a kind of a narrative that these people are being targeted because they are part of Awami League, not because of their faith they are being targeted. Something what we saw in Kashmir Valley also 3 decades back, not because of the faith. You think that deliberately they are continuing with their policy of deceit, deception, and denial?
Thank you. My colleague Shushanta Dasgupta will answer this question.
Thank you very much for This is a burning question every time because every time they are denying nothing is being happening. But when our when Indian secretary was there, illegal government clearly said yes, we arrested 80 plus criminals due to vandalize, due to arson in temples or other people. If there is no incident, why did they arrest people? So this is a proven thing that things are happening. That's why they are arresting people. So that's proof that things are there. But officially they said nothing happening. So if there is nothing happening, why they are arresting people? They agreed to the Secretary of India that yeah, we arrested 80 people, we are taking actions. So that's what I can say only. And uh, the other question is you said Nobel Peace. We pointed out 5 action points, and if those are being implemented, ultimately the Nobel Prize will be taken out as well. Because if UN ban on peace mission, if UN impose other sanctions, automatically it would impact his Nobel Prize. So that's what I can say. It's the consequences will be taken out his Nobel Prize as well. But we are not asking it because this is a complex procedure as far I know, taking out Nobel Prize. But if all those 5 is being in action, ultimately it will impact his Nobel Prize. That's all.
UN and other international bodies.
Yes, before we came here, these two of our colleagues attended UN minority forums. They had a submission there, and it was a huge impact around the world because personally, both of them raised their voice. They submitted our statement in minority forums. So this is the second of our campaign. It started with the UN minority forums. Next, we'll go to London, and then Washington, then Sydney, then Toronto. So it's just a process. We started with the UN minority forums. It's the second one.
Hi, Alicia. Can you hear me? Alicia Rahman Sarkar from The Independent. Mr. Dasgupta, you just mentioned about sanctions, right? I'm keen to understand what sort of sanctions we are talking about here, because do you not think an economic sanction or a sanction of any sort on Bangladesh at this point will further harm the economy, which is already failing? The other thing I wanted to ask was, have you noticed or recorded a trend of migration towards the say west? And the third question is, repeatedly we have mentioned that the situation, the crisis against the Hindus and other religious minorities. Keen to understand if there has been a record of assaults on other religious minorities and a statement of that as well.
Okay. First of all, we have given out 5 records of misconduct by the armed forces. Those armed forces misconduct is acknowledged by ISPR, our internal army mechanism. So they acknowledge it happened. And there are 5 misconduct reports. Army already acknowledged, yes, it happened, it shouldn't be happened. We are sorry for that. We are investigating the misconduct. Because this just very few sample we have taken out. There are 5 already there. And army already acknowledged. So we can say, yeah, the army, there are army misconduct in Bangladesh. They acknowledge 5 of them. So it's just started. If you ask me how many of incidents, there are thousands. And in our report, there are proven authentic 51 records of vandalism, um, torture in the report. They are all identified. And also we have added a report from Pratham Alo in Bangladesh. You know, Pratham Alo is so-called, not so-called, it's actually uh, uh, is actually proven that they are pro Yunus government. So even this pro Yunus government, Pratham Alo said there are 1,000 plus incidents affecting minority. It's not only Hindus; it happened to Christian, it happened to Buddhist, it happened to Iltrex. Uh, Last week, you know, there are a burning incident of 17 houses in, I think it's in Christmas Day. 17 houses are burned down. So it's being recorded, but not all reported. But we are recording them. If you go through our report, you obviously would get 51 records of definite incident, and I can guarantee that all are authentic. Nobody can ignore them. Even Yunus government cannot ignore them because it's reported by their own newspaper. That's what I can say, please.
Hello, this is Bismi from the print. My question is the violence in Bangladesh, if you look at the previous government and the current government, what do you think could have been done better by the previous government? Do you think this was in the making? And how have this present government, the illegal government, made things worse? What should have been done to make things better for Bangladesh?
Yeah.
Sir, one more question to ask.
Okay. Actually, the previous government, we many times demanded the government implement a rule, implement a law. We call it Minority Protection Act. But the previous government never did that. We believe that if it was there, then there should have some sort of relief. And unfortunately, we are being persecuted last 53 years from the inception of Bangladesh. So far, not a single case has been tried. This is not, it is a denial. Somebody asked this question. All governments deny that nothing happened. So this is all government just deny. So we are here today that it is a mess. That means what we are going, what the Hindus are going at this time, it is unbearable. And anything?
Just to add on that, so your question was what could have been done better in previous government? Yeah, the previous government could have done better because there was the majority, and we have been fighting for 1972 constitution. But they could have done that rather than opening loads of madrasas around the country. They could have had proper school, proper education. They could have spent the money on proper history, museums, education, and they had they opened. I do not remember the 500 model masjid, 560 model masjid in every district in Bangladesh. Not a single temple, a model temple for Bangladesh. And there are many other ways because the name of my organization is Secular Bangladesh Movement. And we had the opportunity, they had the opportunity, the coalition with us. They had the opportunity to talk with us. They had the opportunity to make a good community alongside with their political parties. There are a lot of other individuals who wants to support this government because they're pro 71, but they didn't. They could have done better.
Actually, no government from last 53 years did anything for the Hindus in Bangladesh. All the government encouraged the Islamists to flourish. When I say all the governments, yes, I did include her also.
Sir, one more question to ask. Pakistan Army is set to return to Bangladesh for the first time since 1971, with the army training set to begin, likely to begin from February 2025. How alarming is this situation going to be for India and, for that matter, other countries as well? Thank you.
If I answer it, let me tell you other few things. I think everybody know by this time that there is no visa fee required for Pakistani national to Bangladesh, and for Bangladesh there is no visa fee required for Pakistan as well. It was never in Bangladesh. It happened after 5th of August. I mean after the illegal government is there. You don't need to any visa fee to go Pakistan, and Pakistani people can come straight away without any visa fee. And not only this, there are a system in place that if any ship coming from Pakistan, they should go through red alert zone but it's been withdrawn. Another incident I can add, there was a ban of Pakistani students in Bangladesh. There was a ban within the university that no one can come to Bangladesh from Pakistan to study, but it was also withdrawn last week. So these three incidents is a uh, adding value to your questions that. And the fourth one is this, that Pakistani armed forces coming to give training, provide training to Bangladeshi guys. Obviously it is a very, very alarming thing. It's not only for Bangladesh, and obviously it will affect India as well. See, if I give an example of another one, the Ghulam Azam, one of the most war criminal in Bangladesh, his son was suspended during Sheikh Hasina's period. But after 5th of August, his ban was also done. He is now Brigadier General, retired. So there's are examples. This government, we always say, is just another Pakistan. So if you see one side, one Pakistan, other new Pakistan is there. So obviously India will suffer. So that's what I can say from my view. Thank you.
Uh, I'm Nishant Kumar Azad from Organizing English Weekly. My question is, in India there is a section, and whenever we used to raise the issue of persecution of Bangladeshi minorities or Hindu, there is a narrative that we are peddling a narrative of Hindutva and Hindutva government and the Modi government. What do you have to say on this?
Okay, let me answer it again. There is nothing for Modi to impose any ism in Bangladesh. Actually, we are fighting for our own. We are fighting for religious minority groups, Buddhist, Christian. Even we work for atheists. It's not a problem, but it does not mean anything to Buddhism or any other things in Bangladesh. We are fighting for our own. We are fighting for our own right. So if I mean, there's nothing to deal with, as you said, Hindutva there. We are fighting. This is our land. We have to live there. So there's nothing to deal with Hindutva there. We are working for our right. We are working for our own human rights. That's it I can say. No deal with Hindutva there. It's straight away my rights, his right, our right, everyone.
I read it. This is okay. So my journey is for this 21 years, and the reason I'm in this field is because the jihadis, they actually killed my mother. They killed my mother, and not only that, they got my home too. And that was my childhood. That was my childhood. That's my upbringing. When we have children, we let them play, we let them flourish, we let them go to good school, good university. I didn't have any of this because of this persecution. And this journey has been my very own journey. Because I'm in India, it's not that the India government telling me to do all this job. If you read this book, this is a pure book. This is the journey of many people's lives in Bangladesh. You probably have this book. So these stories, probably you're just listening, this is Pushpita's story, but it's not Pushpita's story. If you visit Bangladesh, the story is for thousands, and I don't know how many people are suffering, and how many women losing their mothers, daughters, fathers. It's been constant. It's been non-stop since. I would say, if you remember, it's not only about killing. They're mentally tortured. The people are in fear. They're not saying anything. They're scared to do Hare Krishna. The other day they were chanting. There were the prayers, and the neighbors came out and saying, "You cannot do that. If you want to live in Bangladesh, or you cannot do that. Otherwise, you go to India." So everything happened in Bangladesh, and if you say anything, they say this is coming from India. If you follow my Facebook, so many people say you go to India. This is not your country, but this is my country because my father and my grandfather both were freedom fighters. My uncle were freedom fighters. And my mom was a young widow. She had the many opportunities to leave the country, but she didn't. She didn't. She stayed in Bangladesh with her young children because she was a very proud Bangladeshi. So am I. and I will fight for these rights and nothing to do with India. The reason I came to India, and this is my very first visit, I would say, because I want to fight for my rights. I want to fight for my communities in Bangladesh. I want to fight for Hindus' rights in Bangladesh. And I also want to save my country, Bangladesh. Bangladesh is my country.
Hi, I am Ghazali from NDTV. I just want to ask that do you think India should also consider trade ties to revise its trade ties with Bangladesh since the diplomatic pressure is not working out?
Our colleague Arut Datta will answer that question.
Yes, thank you very much. I read something about the last question also. I'm answering your question now. Yes, India has a lot to do about the trade. Bangladesh is completely dependent on Indian goods. Without, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Yes, Bangladesh is completely dependent on. It's not working. Yeah, it's okay. Yes, Bangladesh is completely dependent on Indian products. If the trucks don't go, they will go hungry. There's no doubt about it. Still, this government don't want to act accordingly. In the last government, there is a good relationship with India, and everything was fine. After the regime change, things become miserable. People are going hunger every day now. So business must continue, otherwise people will die. Doesn't matter Hindu, Muslim, or whoever. Everybody will die. So we want Indian government to act accordingly so that Bangladesh government get the lesson and to proceed further. And about the last question, since 1971, we are facing issues with the minorities. Our house was burnt in 1971. All Hindu families, like you can say 95 lakhs of Hindu families, those who are in refugee in India. I was a refugee in India in 1971. I was in refugee camp. I volunteered in Indian Red Cross Society for 9 months. I was enlisted in the youth camp to go to freedom fight. But before my term came in, Bangladesh was independent in 9 months. So I could not join directly in the freedom fighting. But in camp also, in refugee camp, thousands of people died in front of our eyes. And there is no record, believe me or not. Nobody knows how many people died there. Every individual Hindu families were affected. Not a single Hindu family could escape from this kind of atrocities. 3 million people killed. Out of that, 23 to 2.3 million were Hindus. 300,000 women were raped. And most of them were Hindus. And collaborators in Bangladesh, the collaborators with the Pakistani army, these are all Bangladeshi Muslims. They are called Rajakars. Last government tried to put them into justice. So far, 11 to 20 Rajakars were punished. After the independence of Bangladesh, there is a general mercy for all these Rajakars. And that's how, since then, they started growing. There is no justice for them. We did not get any justice in Bangladesh. As my other colleague says, 53 years. Since 1947, we are suffering. 60% land was belongs to Hindu communities, and population was almost 33%. The actual statistics of that. So today, we demand our land back. In 1940s, Jinnah stated that we cannot live with Hindus. That's why they demanded Pakistan. Today, after 77 years, we are demanding that we are bound to say that we cannot live with them anymore. We lived there so many years with such a pain, and nobody, including world body like United Nations, United States, India, nobody looked after us. There is no record in Bangladesh government that how many people died during 1971. It's very sad to say that our independence, architect of Bangladesh, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, he also did not take care of these things. He was called Bangabandhu, like Friends of Bengal. and he was declared as the father of the nation. But we did not get any justice from him. Also. We were never been looked after. So we demand Indian government, including Indian population, plus the world body, to take care of this Hindu population. We are suffering since 1947. Nowhere in international bodies talked about atrocities on Bangladeshi Hindus. So this is our pain. We are carrying out this pain since last 77 years. I was born in Pakistan. After that, in 1971, we were Bangladeshi. So we want justice. We want to live peacefully. So there must be a permanent solution. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, let me just add one sentence to his question thread. When Dhaka has a hostile government, India should treat Dhaka the way it treats Pakistan. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. One question here, that is, we have been reading a lot about what is happening to the minorities in Bangladesh, most particularly the Hindu minorities. But we have seen some pictures, some clips here and there, those also have stopped coming now, about how women are being targeted. Women who were serving in good reputed positions in colleges, university or government office. Also, young women who have to come out for their education, work, etc. I want Pushpita to tell us very briefly, what is it that the women are going through? Is some effort has been made by the law and order machinery, whatever it is called at this point of time, to make women feel safer out there?
You actually answered the question when you asked the question. So obviously, when women are not safe, we have a big team with us. I won't be able to disclose the name. So 17 of the delegation we have, one of the delegation from Bangladesh big teams, and she's a student from Dhaka University, and she has to leave the country just before her exam, because if she goes to go to the university, she'll be attacked. When she was living in her home in Dhaka University, all her sarees, all her books, everything was burnt. And then she was many attempts to rape her, attack her, even murder her. So this is the scenario of Bangladesh. Now, women, it's not about only universities and in the college. Teachers, women teachers, because in Bangladesh it's very common in Hindu families. The young daughter-in-laws, they feel safe to go to primary school. So they are in fear because they are being attacked and they have been told, do not come to school, even forced to be reside. Now, on top of that, this rape is very, very common at the moment. Women are not disclosing that because this rape is happening in front of their.
How many cases have been registered of rape?
So, the reason we're here, because.
Let me show you one thing. It happened last day before yesterday. It's in Bengali because no English newspaper published it. Because if they publish it in English, it may come into the world. So I am just showing it in Bengali. It says it was a gang rape, a Hindu woman, and she was a UP councillor. She was raped and then killed by poisoning. So that's one example I can show you. Just day before yesterday. So she's in Hindu lady, gang raped, poisoned and killed. So even the English newspaper like Daily Star is the biggest and largest in Bangladesh. They did not publish it. It's a very small newspaper. They have to publish it because if it is in English, you can see it. So it's in Bengali. I'm showing the Bengali one, but you can see the picture. Just 2 days ago. So even nobody dared to go and register a case. I have another case I can show you in my mobile phone. It happened yesterday. He was a victim of 5th of August. His name is Subol. So he went and filed a case. Today, this morning, he was brutally about to kill. If I show you the picture, you might not sleep tonight. So those are happening, but who will go to register it? If they register it on the next day or after 3-4 days or even 5 days, you'll be killed. So there are cases, there are news, some minor newspaper publish it, but not many English newspaper dare to publish it. So that's how I can explain the scenario in Bangladesh.
So I add into that. There was a video, somebody is announcing, saying your daughter will be taken away next week. They send a letter to the father saying, I will come and take your daughter away openly, and they did that. A week later, they came and taken their daughter away. And father cannot save his own daughter, and this is the scenario of Bangladesh.
If I have the picture, is there, if you can see, it's even today. It was event of 5th of August. So it happened 5th of August. He filed a case. Due to filing the case, he was brutally about to kill this morning. So, for example, I can show you the pictures. So, everything is there, but nothing is being reported. They started the case, and obviously the the government is ignoring it, denying it. Clearly said nothing is being happening. So that's what it.
Hi, my name is Moitri. I'm from News 18. I have a very basic question about as Bangladesh moves towards the election, because we get to know that BNP and Jamaat both are forcing the interim government to conduct the election. Do you think that once election happens or election has been declared, the atrocities will, go beyond control towards minorities? Thank you.
There is seems they are calling for election, but I am pretty sure there will be election nearly soon. Jamaat is not asking for election because Jamaat is the beneficiary. They are the counterpart of Pakistan. So they don't want any election now, because if there is election, obviously Jamaat would not be in power 100%, because they are very minor in person, but they are extremists. When you have a rifle with you, you can kill thousands. So you one against two thousands. So Jamaat is like this. Jamaat does not want election actually, but BNP wants. BNP actually think, yes, we are already in power, but they want to be in power officially. So that's the BNP's demand. If there is election in call, yes, there is the possibility that the atrocity might come down because everybody wants to be elected. There is a possibility, but I don't see any hope nearly any election going to happen. That's how I can answer your question, I think. Thank you.
I have a question. The caretaker government of Muhammad Yunus is talking about changing things drastically, changing the constitution, but he is not an elected person. Does your constitution allow people who are not elected to undertake such massive plans to change the constitution, change a lot of other things? And he's talking about elections late 25 or early 26. But I just got a call from a journalist friend of mine from Dhaka a short while ago saying that there is no possibility of any election being held anytime soon, not even 2026. And people are not happy about what is going on. The BNP and the students, they want elections to be held soon, but it's not going to happen. What are your views on that subject, Mr. Guha?
Thank you, Mr. President. If you notice that in our submission, we boldly, several times told that it is an illegal government. So now I give the mic to my colleague Sushanto to explain it briefly.
This is what Mr. President said actually. That's why we are here, because the main reason we are here to raise the issue to the world, because the government in Bangladesh is completely illegal. You see the title there. We clearly said hostile, pro-jihadist, illegal government. This is because they took oath based on the constitution. But in the constitution, there is not a single word interim. There is no mention of interim government in Bangladesh. You are taking something based on something, but this does not exist there. So this is completely illegal government based on the constitution. And actually, the answer is within your questions. They are illegal. Simple as this. And based on constitutions, they cannot do it. That's how I can answer it, I think.
You wanted United Nations sanctions, and everybody knows that why the situation in Bangladesh is like that. Everybody knows about the hand of United States of America, also the role they played in ensuring that such a kind of a situation is there. So in such a situation where United States is not on your side, it's on the Bangladeshi side, on the UNIS side, you think that the United Nation that is considered to be a dummy is really in a position to impose any kind of a sanction?
If I answer your questions, I would say United Nations is just one country among other United Nations countries. If Security Council is not just USA, so there are other countries like Russia, like India, like France, like Germany, like Australia, okay, even Canada. So there are other countries. It does not matter America wants or does not want. If India proposed to the UN Security Council in our neighbor country, we see a completely illegal government. So India can request to UN or propose the United Security Council to sanction or put peace mission there. So it doesn't matter how big is USA or USA is pro illegal government or not. Or not with them or with them, they are only one country. In boot, it's one boot. If you count the number, they are only one. There are other several countries. So we can say like this. If other countries propose, yes, America may bet or may not, but it should be raised. I think Mr.
Okay.
Mohan can answer it more appropriately.
Yeah, I'm an American. So it is not America. It is the Biden administration who is supporting UNIS government. That's why we are eagerly waiting for Trump administration to come. 20th January is the day we hope things will change again. We hope. American policy doesn't change overnight, but Trump is the hope for the Bangladeshi people. Trump is the hope for the free world. So just wait few more weeks. Let's hope the best. Thank you.
Yes,
Thanks very much, lady and gentlemen, for meeting the global media here. And the statement issued by him can be WhatsApped by Anil Yadav. It has already been sent to all our members. Those who are not members but would like access to that, please ask him, share your number with him. He'll be very happy to send you the statement. Thank you so much for coming. We are grateful to you, and I hope they have been able to answer all the questions. Thank you so much. Good evening.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, member of the press. Thank you very much.